Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will discuss the cytoskeleton and the cytoplasmic inclusions present in the cytoplasm of the cell. The cytoplasmic cytoskeleton is a complex array of various filaments. These protein polymers determines the shape of the cells, play an important role in the movements of the organelles and cytoplasmic vesicles, and also allow the movement of the entire cells. So important functions of cytoskeleton are maintenance of cell shape, that is they maintain the shape of the cell as well as the shape of the nucleus. Stabilization of cell attachment. These cytoskeletal component of the cell, they give attachment to the extracellular matrix. That's how they maintain the stabilization of the cell attachment. And number 3 is the movement of the cell as a whole or the part of the cell or the movement of the cell organelles inside the cell. It is dependent upon the cytoskeleton. So 3 types of proteins, they make up the 3 categories of the cytoskeleton in the cell. The first category is the microtubules, which are larger in diameter. They are having about diameter of 25 nanometers. Then the actin filament, they are the smallest. They are the microfilaments, also known as microfilaments. They have the diameter of 7 nanometers. And then the intermediate filaments, these filaments are intermediate in diameter between the microtubules and the actin filaments. They are about 10 nm diameter. So these are all made up of proteins which polymerizes to form filaments. So microtubules, their location is, they are fine tubular structures in the cytoplasmic matrix of the cell. So they can be found anywhere in the cell. They are also found in cytoplasmic processes known as the cilia and the flagella. Their size is, their outer diameter is about 25 nanometers and wall is 5 nanometer thick, and there is a hollow lumen. So you can see the outer diameter is about 25 nanometers and wall is about 5 nanometer thick, and they have got a hollow lumen. Microtubules are variable in length, but they can become many micrometers long. Their shape is non-branching. Here you can see a rigid hollow tube of proteins that can rapidly disassemble in one location and reassemble in another location. Structure of microtubule. The wall of the microtubules, this is a microtubule filament, and it consists of tubulin protofilaments. So this is a protofilament, tubulin protofilament, and these protofilaments, they are formed by polymerization of the dimeric molecules of tubulin, each consisting of alpha tubulin and beta tubulin. So repeated this arrangement of alpha and beta tubulin, they form the tubulin protofilaments. The tubulin subunit aligned lengthwise as protofilaments with 13 parallel protofilaments forming the circumference of each microtubule wall. So here are the 13 protofilaments which are forming the circumference of the each microtubule wall. So here you can see that 2 or more microtubules are often linked side by side by protein arms or bridges. That is particularly important in the exoneme of the cilia. Here you can see 2 microtubules. They are attached. They are linked together and attached to a protein, which is the protein arm or bridge, and the structure of cilia or the centriole. The 3 microtubules, they are attached together. So this is a single microtubule, and in cilia or the centriole, one or more the microtubules are attached to each other to form these structures, and these structures are important in the movement of the cells. So here you can see the cilia or the flagella. So the cilia or flagella, they consist of the microtubules, and these microtubules help in the movement of these cells. So microtubules also form the part of the system for the intracellular transport of membranous vesicles, macromolecular complexes and organelles. So they serve as railroad tracks in the cell. So the migrating organelle in the cell, they roam in the cell, not by their own or by some cytoplasmic movement, but they travel on the tracks formed by the microtubules. Transport of the organelle, you can see here the organelle, it is being transported on the microtubule of the cytoskeleton, and these this transport movement is under the control of proteins called the motor proteins, which use ATP in moving larger structures. So these are the motor proteins which are moving the organelles in the cell, and they are using the ATP. The polymerization of tubulins to form microtubules anywhere in vivo is directed by centers in the cell. This center is known as microtubule organizing centers. Now, this center consists of tubulin ring complexes that act as nucleating sites for polymerization. Now, these microtubule organizing centers include centrosomes in the mitotic spindles and the basal bodies of the cilia. Microtubules are polymerized structures, and growth via tubulin polymerization occurs more rapidly at one end of the existing microtubules. This end is referred to as the plus end, and the other end is the minus end. So that's how the microtubules they grow. Actin filaments. Actin filament is present as thin filaments, 5 to 7 nanometers in diameter, and they are also known as microfilaments. These are composed of globular subunits organized into double-stranded helix. Now, there are several types of actins, and this protein is present in all types of cells. So the F-actin and G-actin. Now, as I have told you, the G-actin, these are the molecules of G-actin, and they polymerizes to form the filamentous actin. Filamentous actin, and the filaments, double helical filaments, they form the actin filament. Now, these actin filaments, they are used in various sites in the cells. They are associated with the intermediate filaments in forming the bondage with the extracellular matrix as to stabilize the cell attachment. Also, the actin filaments are present in the adherence junctions, cell junctions, a form of cell junctions. You can see here that the actin filaments, they are present here participating in the formation of cell junctions. You will study this further when you will study the cell junctions. Now, actin filaments are also present in microvilli. So, microvilli are the surface extension of the cells which increase the surface area for absorption. You can see here that the actin filaments, they are forming the core of the microvilli along with the myosin 1 and calmodulin, and they are associated with the spectrin-rich terminal web which is present inside the cell membrane. Filaments also form the component of the contractile component in the muscles, muscles, and they are present as double helical structure associated. You can see here double helical structure, and they are associated with troponin complex and tropomyosin molecules, and they interact with the myosin and produce contraction.
So the intermediate filaments, these are the types of cytoskeletal element made up of multiple strands of fibrous proteins bound together. They have an average diameter of about 8 to 10 nanometers, that is intermediate between the microtubules and the microfilaments. So most types of intermediate filaments are cytoplasmic, but one type, the laminins, are nuclear. So when I have told you the nucleus, about the nucleus, I have also told you the internal laminar fibers in the present beneath the nuclear membrane, which supports the nuclear shape, provide mechanical strength to the cells and tissues. So taking into consideration the biochemical nature of the constituent proteins, many types of intermediate filaments have been identified in different cells of the body. The 5 most common varieties of intermediate filaments I will tell you. The glial filaments. These intermediate filaments are made up of glial fibrillary acidic protein, and they are found in non-glial cells, non-neuronal cells of the CNS, that is the astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, and microglia. Now the keratin filaments, this is the characteristic feature of the epithelial cells, and these filaments are composed of protein known as keratin and are found in epithelial cells. The most abundant in the cells of the stratified squamous epithelium of the epidermis of the skin. In these cells, bundles of keratin filaments called tonofibrils can be seen under the light microscope. Now in other epithelial cells, keratin filaments usually form a network around the nucleus with bundles radiating to the periphery, where they terminate in the desmosome and other specializations of the cell membrane for intercellular junctions. Function of keratin intermediate filament is primarily a mechanical one. These filaments stabilizes the shape of the cell and strengthen its attachment to the basal lamina in the neighboring cells. Then we have got the vimentins, desmins. The desmins filaments, these filaments are composed of protein known as desmins, and they are abundant in the smooth muscle cells, where they form a cytoskeleton that transmits the pull of the contractile proteins and ensures a uniform distribution of tensile force across the smooth muscle cells. Now these filaments are also found in skeletal, cardiac, muscle cells, where they link the Z lines of the peripheral myofibrils to the plasma membrane of the cell. So that's how they stabilize. They ensure uniform distribution of tensile strength throughout the muscle cell. Then we have got the vimentin. This is abundant in fibroblast and mesenchymal derived cells, and these intermediate filaments are composed of proteins known as vimentin. These filaments may be randomly distributed in the cytoplasm in the form of network or may be gathered in bundles. Now the last fibers are the neurofilaments. These filaments are composed of special type of proteins called neurofilament protein. They are found in neurons, where they provide structural support to the cell body and its process. So the cytoplasmic inclusions. Now unlike organelles, cytoplasmic inclusions are composed mainly of accumulated metabolites or other substances, and they are often transitory components of the cytoplasm. They are non-motile with little or no metabolic activity. Inclusions are not considered organelles. And important and commonly seen inclusions include the uh, they are divided into two categories, that is stored food materials, and second is the pigments. So important and commonly seen inclusions include fat droplets, glycogen granules, lipofuscin granules, hemosiderin, and melanin. So cytoplasmic inclusions, the fat droplets, these are accumulations of lipid molecules, and these inclusions are prominent in adipocytes, fat cells, adrenal cortex cells, cells of liver, and other cells in the body. The glycogen granules, these are aggregates of carbohydrate polymer in which glucose is stored and are also visible in several cell types, mainly liver cells in the form of irregular clumps of Pas positive or electron dense material. They are not enclosed with membrane. Lipofuscin granules, these are small pigmented golden brown bodies present in many cells. They accumulate with age in stable non-dividing cells, for example neurons, cardiac muscles. They contain a complex mixture of material derived from residual bodies after lysosomal digestion. So this is the picture showing the fat droplets, accumulation of fat in the cells, and this is the light microscopic appearance. You can see that in the cells they appear to have empty spaces. Now in the routine tissue sections prepared for light microscopy, the lipid is dissolved out and is represented by empty circular spaces in the cytoplasm of lipid storing cells. You can see here empty looking spaces, and the lipid can be demonstrated by using special fixation and staining methods, or under the for example in frozen sections stained by fat stains, the lipid droplets appear black. And under electron microscopic section, you can see here this is the electron microscopic section showing the lipid droplets, and they appear as homogeneous spheres of variable density. Then comes the lipofuscin. You can see here this is the cardiac muscle. As I have told you before, they are accumulated in non-dividing cell, and these are the cardiac muscle cells, and they are appearing as brown or yellowish material. You can see here in the cardiac muscle cell. Then comes the glycogen. So this is the picture of the histological section of the liver, showing the hepatocytes with special staining known as PAS staining, and under this PAS staining, these glycogen granules, they are appearing as magenta colored granules in the cell. You can see here these are the magenta color granules present in the cytoplasm of the cell. Now other pigment which includes is the this inclusion which include the pigments. Now hemosiderin is an iron storage complex found within the cytoplasm of many cells. It is most likely found by the indigestible residues of hemoglobin, and its presence is related to phagocytosis of red blood cells. Now hemosiderin is most easily demonstrated in the spleen, where aged erythrocytes are phagocytosed, but it can be also found in alveolar macrophages in the lung tissue, especially after pulmonary infection. So they are accompanied by small hemorrhage into the alveoli. Now this is the light microscopic picture. You can see the deep brown granules, more or less indistinguishable from lipofuscin. So hemosiderin granules can be differentially stained using histochemical methods for iron detection. So melanin pigment, this occurs in the form of dark brown granules, and They are mainly found in the skin cells of the skin named as melanocytes, which are located mainly in the basal layers of the epidermis of skin. And after their formation, the melanocytes in the melanocytes, now this is the melanocyte cell. You can see here the pigment is being formed, and then it is transferred into the keratinocytes of the epidermis. So these are the cells of the keratinocytes which have got the melanin pigment granules. In the skin, the melanin serves to protect the epidermal cells against the harmful effects of the solar ultraviolet radiations. Melanin pigment is also abundantly present in the eyeball, where it is chiefly found in the pigment epithelia of the retina, ciliary body, and iris. In the eye, the melanin pigment performs the important function of absorption of light to prevent reflection and resilient glare. Now, melanin granules are also found in the neurons of large masses of gray matter called the substantia nigra, which is located in the midbrain. Okay, thank you for watching the video. This is all for the lectures of the cell. In the next coming class, you will study the structure of the epithelial tissue. Thank you so much.